in just a minute. But I'd like to go over your goals because if you remember, I asked you to kind of flesh out one of the goals that you had from therapy from last session. The two that we were able to nail down pretty effectively were you'd like to improve your interpersonal relationships. So you discussed a bit about your relationship with your significant other, your kids, your parents, and some of your close personal friends. And then you mentioned that you would also like to stop living paycheck to paycheck. So some of the financial stuff that has you feeling stuck a bit. And then the third one was the one that was a little bit ambiguous that I asked you for homework to kind of flesh out a little bit. You said that one of your goals for therapy was to feel better. And obviously our goal in treatment is to try to come up with goals that we can measure and that are, time-based so that we can really track your progress. And so in order to do that, I just wanted to get a better idea of what feeling better means to you. So can you did you have some time to think about that over the last week?
Yeah, I thought about it a little bit.
Okay. So what is feeling better? What does that entail to you?
If I felt better, then maybe I would like to do some of the things that I enjoy more.
Okay.
Maybe I would feel motivated to go back to school or do something so that I didn't have to work at O'Charlie's for the rest of my life.
Okay. Those are two great examples. What are some of the things that you used to enjoy doing that you have kind of stopped along the way when you started to feel stuck?
I used to really enjoy doing art, drawing, stuff like that.
Okay. What kind of art and drawing did you used to do?
Just like sketching and sometimes painting with acrylics, stuff like that.
Okay. Is there any subject matter in particular that you used to be fond of drawing or?
Kind of like realism. Like I like to paint things or draw things that I can actually see.
Okay. So, what would that look like if you were about to pick back up with that? Would it be kind of the thing where you would take a sketch pad to like the park and draw scenes, or?
Yeah, or maybe I would just do that, or draw like friends or family members, but I don't want to spend any time with any of them right now.
Okay. What about the other modalities of art that you were talking about? You said painting. Is there anything that you used to be fond of painting in particular?
Same thing, just like photorealistic stuff.
Okay, that's awesome. I think I've always admired people that were able to do that. I've never been talented enough to recreate anything that's the quality of being photorealistic. So I think that's awesome. School sounds great. What are you thinking about in terms of going back to school? If you were going to do that, what would that look like?
I really like art, but I'll probably have to wait tables forever if I decide to go get an art degree. So I don't know. Maybe need to meet with some kind of counselor or something that can help me figure out, what I could do and still make some money so that I don't have to wait tables.
Okay. Would you be open to doing that if we could find some resources for you? Would you be open to sitting down with like a guidance counselor?
I think so. Kind of depends on my mood,
Okay. So speaking of your mood, that's a good segue to get back into how you scored your depression and anxiety from last session. Last session, you said that your depression was an 8 out of 10. How are you feeling over the past couple of weeks since our last time we talked?
My depression's got probably a little better. Maybe like a 7 or 6 out of 10.
That's awesome. So there is some movement in the right direction, it sounds like.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think kind of thinking about, getting back to doing the things that I enjoy and not feeling like I'm stuck.
Okay.
Kind of helped me.
So did you try to, do some do some art over the last couple of weeks?
I did a little bit, yeah.
Awesome. That's fantastic. I'm super happy about that. How do you feel about your anxiety?
Well, that's actually funny because when I was feeling pretty anxious, I decided that that's when I was going to do some of my drawing just to like distract myself.
Okay.
And I mean, that helped for a little while.
Okay. So, would you say you're sitting at maybe a 6 out of 10 instead of a 7 out of 10?
Yeah, probably a 6 out of 10 for anxiety.
Okay. Awesome. So, it sounds like digging back into some of the stuff that you used to really enjoy is helping a bit.
Yeah. Sometimes though, I mean, I feel like I draw a lot better and I'm more creative, when I drink though.
Okay. All right.
That usually also helps with anxiety.
Okay. So, I'm curious. Let's just say, in order to kind of illuminate what some of the issues you might be facing, because it sounds to me like there might be some obstacles that you're trying to kind of overcome to start to feel like yourself again. So oftentimes in these situations, one of the things that's really beneficial is to do a bit of a thinking exercise, a little bit of a thought exercise. And so the way it works is, if I could wave a magic wand right now, and unbeknownst to you, that magic wand had the power to fix your problems, and somehow over the course of tonight while you're sleeping, all of your problems were magically solved, and you woke up tomorrow morning with those problems solved, try to explain to me what that would look like and how you would know that things were different. So you're waking up tomorrow morning with your problems solved. What does that look like?
That kind of looks like I know what I want to do with the rest of my life.
Okay.
Maybe I have a job where I work normal hours.
Okay.
I get to see my kids more and have relationships with my children and my family and my friends, and my relationship with my significant other is better. We're getting along.
Okay. What about, so last time you disclosed that you were drinking more than what you thought might be good in some situations, and you disclosed the use of cocaine.
It's just occasional cocaine use. It's nothing serious.
Okay. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
If you want, if that's what you think we need to talk about.
So, going back to the situation where you're waking up in the morning and all of your problems are solved, where does that leave you with your relationship to alcohol use and cocaine use?
Well, hopefully I'm comfortable enough that I don't feel like I need to drink, and the cocaine's really just to help after maybe I drink kind of heavily and I've got to go to work the next day, but sometimes I drink just a little bit at work, and that's just to help me loosen up so that way I can be social, because you make better tips when you are more personable. So.
Okay. So would you say that your relationship with alcohol and cocaine has a beneficial impact on your job being a server?
I mean, when I show up on time, yeah. But, sometimes I drink a little too much maybe the night before, and then I'll be coming in a little late. But, when you work in a restaurant, it's not serious. It's not like anybody's life's on the line. So if you show up late, it's just, it's whatever.
Okay. Have you had to face any sort of negative repercussions because of your drinking or cocaine use?
Sometimes, my boss will just say some some shitty stuff about it, but I mean, they're not going to do anything because we're so short staffed. They're just happy to have somebody that shows up, not, totally out of it.
Okay. What about your goal to stop living paycheck to paycheck? How does your drinking and cocaine use affect your financial situation?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like I make better tips if I drink, but then I have to spend money on drinking. So, and then, really try not to spend money on cocaine. I usually just do that if like somebody offers it to me.
Okay.
But.
Okay. So, would you say that the positive progress that you've made over the past week, is that at all related to a reduction in alcohol or cocaine use? Did you cut back this past couple of weeks since our last session?
I mean, I really haven't done any cocaine lately. I mean, I told you I drank like a little bit when I was doing my art and stuff, but maybe I'm drinking a little less.
That's fantastic. Okay. So you cut down a little bit over the last couple of weeks on your cocaine use and your drinking, and that appears to have freed up some mental space for you to get back into some things that are maybe a little more beneficial.
Yeah.
That kind of help a little bit. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. So how do you think you can take this idea of what life would be like if your problems were solved and help reflect that into what it means to you to feel better? So you talked about, not working as a server anymore. It seems as if you've indicated that maybe your job might have an effect on your drinking and your cocaine use. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Could the environment have something to do with that potentially?
Yeah, it's pretty normal for people to like drink and do drugs in the food industry.
Okay. So
they're pretty prevalent. It's easy to get them.
Okay. You're not the first person I've heard say that, so that makes sense. So
so maybe if I wasn't in that situation, I wouldn't have as many opportunities to, use drugs or drink.
Okay.
So having, a different job would be probably the first step.
Okay. Well, that's amazing insight. So what do you think would be a good first step to take to start moving towards a different occupation?
You talked about like maybe talking to like a, like a counselor, like not like a vocational rehab, but like a counselor of some sort to.
Like a guidance counselor?
Yeah, like a guidance counselor to help me figure out what I might want to do or what would be a good fit.
Okay.
So
we can absolutely set that up.
Maybe I could do that between now and our next session.
Okay. So one of the things that I want you to do, and it will help with your conversation with a guidance counselor, is I want you to really get comfortable with the idea of what life looks like when you're not stuck anymore. Okay? So your homework for the week is going to be to visualize that day of waking up with all of your problems solved. And I want you to go to that place. And I want you to visualize what those relationships with your significant others are going to look like, right? With your, your boyfriend, with your kids, with your, close personal relationships like family, friends, all of that stuff. Visualize your success, because that's going to have an incredibly transformative effect on your mind,